Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Hello, good morning and welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo and broadcasting on TV1 as part of the Capital Group. And this morning we are joined by the chairman of that rather interesting place, the Lanka Coal Company, and with attorney at law as well, Mr. Maithri Gunarathn. Good morning to you, Mr. Gunarathn.
Good morning, Faraz. Morning. Thank you.
Long time you have been missing. What have you been doing?
I have been all around, so there was no issue. I was not
Have you
missing.
been fixing any tenders?
No, never.
No.
Never.
But what is going on at Lanka Coal? Well, did you, the Supreme Court said that they weren't very happy with the way this was done, and they cited various procedural challenges that had taken place. And so I presume that everything is fine and sanity has prevailed, is it?
Well, Faraz, firstly, thank you for inviting me for 2017. And
Indeed.
Thank the Siddhasa Maharaja Group for having extended this invitation.
Yes. We do that on behalf of the people.
Yeah, thank you. And answering a question, the Supreme Court decided that the manner in which the tender was granted was wrong, was flawed. And that is Lanka Coal Company was asked to go ahead and cancel the tender.
They gave you all the option
of doing that. But then what happened was the ministry contacted the Attorney General again, and the Attorney General had given an opinion that if you don't go ahead with the tender, giving it to this company, that there would have been a damages suit against the government. And they recommended that it be given and for it to be put to the cabinet. So subsequently it was put to the cabinet. Then there was Minister Champika Ranawaka questioned about the tender, and then it was put to the cabinet subcommittee. And the subcommittee apparently had approved it, and now we have been instructed that the cabinet has taken a decision to give the tender to the same old company.
At the same time.
Yeah, the price changes.
It changes because it's linked to the world coal price?
Coal price. It's coal price.
Right, so it's variable.
It's variable.
Right. However, why was the Supreme Court, it was only a recommendation, right? Because the Supreme Court, wasn't there some technical difficulty for the Supreme Court?
No, what happened was, for us, this was a decision given by the Honorable Chief Justice.
Yeah.
It was a landmark judgment because, firstly, the Supreme Court dismissed the petitioner's action.
Right.
Saying that it was not according to law.
Yeah.
But having seen the magnitude of the violation of the procurement guidelines, the Supreme Court went into the case and said that since this is public money, that they cannot ignore this. And they said that this tender has been granted in a manner which is completely against all known laws and regulations.
Yes, but if I remember rightly, the Supreme Court gave you, as in the Lanka Coal Company, it said they may cancel this procedure and then go for another one, another tender.
Yes.
Why did you not exercise the almost God-given gift in this instance, the order of the Supreme Court? You had the Supreme Court on your side because it said you may cancel. So why did you not cancel?
No, we wrote to the supplier and told them not to get ready with the next season's coal. But subsequently what happened was the whole issue was taken by the ministry. And then the ministry consulted the Attorney General. Attorney General gave an opinion that if you do not give it to them, that there can be a legal suit against the government. And requested it to be put to the cabinet and for the cabinet to take a decision. So cabinet has, for all intents and purposes, taken a decision. And on that decision, I have reordered with the same company.
But surely, Mr. Gunarathn, now, when the Supreme Court says to you, you may, the Supreme Court or guidelines go across all other people. because it's supreme.
Yeah.
And so you could have quite easily ignored everybody else and said, we're cancelling this, that's it.
In today's context for us, it is difficult to do that.
Right.
Because the whole matter was taken over by the ministry.
Right.
And they consulted the Attorney General. And then the Attorney General asked it to go to the cabinet.
So yes, and the cabinet were guided by some committee, is that
Yes,
right?
that's right.
And what is this committee?
It's called Economic Subcommittee.
Economic Subcommittee. And they comprise of wonderful people from the past, like Mr. Pascalingam and Chariman, all known loyalists of the United National Party. Now, it seems as though this is grossly unfair on the people. Why should the people pay more money to this coal company when we all know that you can get it cheaper?
Yeah, that is a matter you will have to ask from the cabinet.
But isn't it a crying shame?
No, it is not acceptable. It is not acceptable.
I mean, when you turn your air conditioning on,
Yeah.
or your light on at home, does it strike you that it could have been cheaper?
Definitely. Now I don't turn them on because I know we are paying
Are you
for it.
consumed with guilt?
Definitely.
Well, it's a very sad situation, Mr. Gunarathn. It really is very, very sad when we've got the laws and we are unable to implement this.
Definitely.
Have you come close to resigning your position?
I have been very diplomatically, I don't want to mention names, asked why don't you leave the place. But I have told them, okay, if you want me to leave, I was appointed by His Excellency the President.
Yeah.
You can speak to the President, and if the President tells me to leave tomorrow, I'm willing to leave.
I have a message from a viewer who says that you as a lawyer would know the powers of the Supreme Court. Was it not a proper, was it a suggestion or was it an order? Because the Supreme Court did say that they were unable to look at this.
It was not an order.
Right.
It was a direction.
Yeah.
And it had the word may.
Yeah.
So then what happened was they started playing with the word may.
Right.
Saying that there is a huge amount of discretion involved in that word. And it was thereafter that they consulted the Attorney General, and then subsequently the other events took place.
When we study the actions of our President, Maithri Sena, right from the beginning, if there's one thing that can be said about our President, it is this, that he has always kept the needs of the people at the heart,
Yes.
at the forefront. And so clearly when he appointed you as the chairman of the Lanka Coal Company, it's a very important appointment. People may not realize that, but with Noracholi supplying so much
of electricity,
of power onto the national grid, it's the one place where you can have, where corruption is almost ready to happen.
Definitely.
So clearly when he appointed you as the chairman of the coal company, the firm responsible for supplying the coal to the plant, he obviously had great hopes with you.
For us, to be very frank, 4 of the international bidders have written to us and said that these are some of the few most transparent tenders that they have ever participated. So as with regard to the transparency which is expected from me, from Lanka Coal, we have delivered to all the suppliers.
Right.
But there are certain things we can equate ourselves to a post box. Where we do only one part. We call for the tenders and we send it for evaluation to the TEC, the Technical Evaluation Committee. And then there's a SCAP, the Special Cabinet Appointed Procurement Committee. They are the people who decide as to whom this should be given to. So basically what we do is we give those decisions a convey. So we have no decision making power
You don't?
We don't make decisions. So, but whatever we do, we have done it in a transparent manner that never before has it happened in the history of our company.
Right.
So as far as the transparency is concerned, and as far as what the President has expected, I have acted to the best of my ability, and the Supreme Court itself, in its judgment, referred a letter which I have written to the SCAP.
Yeah.
And
yes, they refer to that letter. I understand that.
And they have very specifically said, if at all, the SCAP should have acted according to the letter sent by the chairman.
Yeah.
So, with regard to my actions, I have completely kept the trust which the President has kept on me. I have kept it. And
as a lawyer,
yeah.
Can you tell me this question, the answer to this? As a lawyer, was it not possible for the Lanka Coal Company, as the affected party in this Supreme Court action, was it not possible for you to go back to the Supreme Court and say, excuse me, can you tell us what you mean by this word may?
Yeah, that was a possibility, but what happened was, since the ministry took the whole thing over and went to the Attorney General, and
but the Attorney General is several rungs lower than the Supreme Court.
Definitely.
I mean, why? But could you not concurrently have gone to the Supreme Court? Nothing to stop you, or was there something to stop?
No, what stopped me was since the matter was taken by the ministry, I didn't want to go on a head-on collusion with the ministry.
With the Secretary of
the Ministry.
Sorry, who is the Secretary?
Mr. Batagoda.
Dr.
Batagoda.
The name keeps coming up from the past. Because you see, there is this perception, certainly, that Maithri Gunarathn, Chairman Lanka Coal Company, appointed by His Excellency Maithri Sirisena, kind of let the side down. Because there was a great expectation that you would play straight back cricket.
No, I have.
I'm not saying you didn't, but what I'm saying is that the end result is that the people are still paying more money at Norwich-Ollie.
No, with regard to the people paying more money at Norwich-Ollie, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But the build up to that, I mean, we have at Lanka Coal been able to conduct a very transparent affair.
Right.
And if you take our management costs have come down by about 4 rupees as compared to the previous years. Then demurrage for us, they paid demurrage 2014-2015 season 600 million as demurrages. We have brought it down to 100 million. And this current season, we think we should be able to restrict it to about 15 million rupees.
Right.
So in that manner, we have been able to deliver the goods. Then the other thing is the supply of coal. Now the season 2015-2016, we have supplied the total quantity for the first time. The CEB has requested. We have all that has been done. All that has been done. But when the procurement, now if it is a case where we are deciding, I am deciding on whom it should be given, then fine. But the decision does not come to me. The decisions are made somewhere else, and we are only the implementing arm of it. So I have what I have done. I mean,
who designed this system?
This is the system which has been designed by the procurement guidelines, by the Treasury, where the procurement is broken into 3 stages, so that there will be more transparency.
As a lawyer, can you give me a bit of advice? I know I mustn't ask you for free advice, but if you like, send me the bill. But I'd like to ask you this: can I take action against the Secretary of the Ministry, as a Joe Public?
No, there is a case which has been filed by a journalist to the Supreme Court, a public interest litigation, saying that the cabinet has not been, for the second time, the cabinet has not been fully apprised of all the facts, and not to take a decision until it gives you all the facts.
Right.
So that case is still pending, but I feel that it will be academic because the cabinet has already taken decision.
And the money is already being spent. But obviously the president, I'm sorry to bat on this.
No, I understand.
obviously the president, he had a specific purpose in appointing a loyal lawyer who'd understand all the ramifications of this is going on, because there's always attempts by those in authority to escape where the law has a little kink in it or a little quirk, and they use that to get away with it.
Yeah.
And they use wonderful, because the English language is so quaint, they use the quaintness of this English language as well. You know, it's a bit like the UN and the Prime Minister say, the President says no foreign judges, and to sort of appease the international community, our dear Prime Minister, with his knowledge of this wonderful quaint English language, he says, for there will be participation. What on earth is this participation? It's a wonderful word, and I love it when the Prime Minister says this thing, of course, because we all know that there will not be foreign judges, because the President of our country says so.
Yes.
So it's like that. You know, the President has, in full knowledge, he's not some easy pushover, in the full knowledge that you are a lawyer of some standing and your reputation is there, he's appointed this lawyer who understands the law and who's not going to be a pushover.
No, definitely.
And I am saddened on behalf of the people that you have not been able to fight this committee comprising of all the old guys, and they are literally
No,
quite
it
old.
is not the committee that is the issue. It is the decision from the cabinet. It's a cabinet decision.
Yeah.
So the cabinet decision for us, I mean, when the president is the head of the cabinet.
Yeah.
So when the decision comes from the cabinet,
Yeah.
we have to take it forward.
Do you think it was, if we were to re-examine everything, do you think it was a case of, okay, it's a bit of give and take. I'll give in on this, but I'm going to take it away from someone else?
No, for us, I would say it's not a case of give and take. I certainly, my personal view is I don't agree with the decision.
Right.
But it is not on personal preferences that we have to run institutions. It is on directions given by cabinet and various other places. So, although I don't agree with what happened, I maintain that since it is a cabinet headed by the president, I have to carry out those instructions. Can we pin the blame fairly and squarely on Dr. Bhattigaran? I suppose so.
Do you think the people can bring an action against him?
Oh, definitely. There is already complaints which have been lodged. Not against him, it's against a SCAP.
Right.
It's a body of about 7 people, and they are supposed to be from various ministries and various government organizations, who are supposed to be independent, and who will disagree or who will agree with whatever is being done. So if once the SCAP
Who was his chairman of SCAP?
is one Mr. Vitanage, who is the secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Employment.
Right. Oh, they bring in different people.
Yeah.
And are these things led by majority decisions? And do we know the makeup of that decision? You know,
there
is it 3-1?
No, the decisions have all been unanimous.
I see.
Yeah. There hasn't been any dissension in the SCAP.
I see. Is it fair to ask what knowledge the chairman of SCAP would have, in this case Mr. Vitanage, on the intricacies of coal?
No, I don't think he has any knowledge on the intricacies of coal.
Right.
Because they are only there to check the procedure, whether the procurement guidelines have been followed. They are only for that.
It sounds very, very frustrating and dodgy to have people who don't know nothing about these things.
It is for us. And because I have been showing that on certain occasions that this is wrong, and this should not be followed in this manner.
Yeah.
And they have even recommended the removal of the chairman of Lanka Coal, the SCAP.
I see. It's all very, very, very sad, really. It's very sad when we have no money to to develop the rural areas and so on.
Definitely.
I'm sure on your cycling trip around the country you couldn't have failed to notice the abject poverty.
Definitely. That was a real eye-opener for us, because we cycled for 10 days and we really went throughout.
And we have have you heard of this little movement? It's not little, it's big, but I'm just using the word there. This movement, it's called the Gambanda movement. Have you heard of it?
Yes. I have seen it on TV, and I think it's gaining a hell of a lot of ground. Yeah. And you all are doing a great amount of work. As always, Sirasa has been always very, very original in whatever they have done. And unlike just doling out money, they are doing something very productive for the people.
Did you let on to some of these people who have no electricity? They are the chairman of Lanka Corp. Because if you did, I'm sure they'd beat you up. Because some people can't actually afford this one bulb.
Yes.
Because of a decision made down the road, in Colombo. It's very, very, very sad, Mr. Gunarathn. What about spot tenders? The world prices are down.
For us, actually, it was during my tenure that we were able to bring the spot tender purchasing.
Yeah. And
I'm telling you that is the most successful way of purchasing coal, and even the Auditor General has said so. Right, the committee which the honourable minister appointed.
So obviously this committee seems to be completely with blindfolds or with blinkers on. Because they don't seem to know what's happening in the world. And they're sitting down ruling on energy prices and energy procurement.
Maybe.
There's another question from one of another viewer. You were appointed by the President. Did you bring the coal issue to the President's attention?
Definitely.
Right. What did he say?
I have not had any reply.
You mean you wrote to him?
Yes.
You were unable to pick the phone up and have a chat?
I have spoken to him also.
And he said?
I have spoken to him and I asked for an appointment. I have still not got one.
Right. Do you think he's forgotten?
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because this is an issue which is coming up
all the time.
All the time.
Is there some way out?
Now it may be a bit difficult because we have placed the order and they are supplying the coal.
How long have you contracted this company for?
That is only for this season. That is for about another 1 million tons.
Which is for another 10 shipments?
Maybe about another 15 shipments.
Right. So it's going to go on for one shipment a month, right?
No. It's about 5 to 6 shipments a month, so it will go on till April.
So there is some hope.
Yeah, there is hope.
Can we please ask you to give us, the people, an undertaking that you will somehow, even if you have to stand outside the President's house with your files, will you make sure that you see the President and
Definitely.
tell him that this is what's going on?
Definitely.
Will you do that? Will you not forget?
No way.
Can we get our producer Stephanie in this case to keep reminding you on a daily basis?
Oh yes, certainly yes.
She's very persistent. She will send you SMSs every day.
I know, because even to get me for this program, she called me more than 15 times.
Well, there you are. So we are going to do that.
Please free to do so.
Right. There you are. We're going to keep on this case so that we will... now then, let's just move on a little bit. What do you think of this super ministry? What are your thoughts on that? You're a lawyer, you're a loyalist and all that business.
The point is, for us now, the super ministry bill is, I think, a bit dangerous when you see the last 6 to 8 months how things have been happening.
Yeah.
Especially all the power being centralized to one super minister is going to be extremely dangerous. Now you can see these so-called who are going to be super ministers, how they have acted with regard to the central bank bond issue.
Yeah.
Right now there has been scant disregard to all known procedures and whatever they had to follow. What they did was this Yapal and good governance government was completely messed up by the bond issue itself.
Yeah.
if you remember, the first issue took place in the first 100 days of this government.
Yeah.
And it was thereafter that a parliamentary election came.
Yeah.
Now, when this government was brought into power in 2015, January 8, 2015, the president of this country got a 50% plus, and therefore he was elected president.
Yeah.
Then 4 to 5 months down the line,
Yeah.
when the parliamentary election came, the main party which was supposed to get power,
Yeah.
the United National Party, was unable to get the 113 seats in parliament, having mobilized a huge coalition of various other parties. They were unable to get the 113.
Yeah.
So then what happened was they had to get the support of the president and the SLFP to form this government. So what I'm saying is, now, having formed a coalition government,
Yeah.
all the plum ministries have been given to the partners,
The minority.
basically the coalition parties.
Right.
I wouldn't use the word minorities.
Okay.
Right? It's the coalition parties.
Right.
Right. So now what is happening is the government is unable to function because there are people of different parties holding different ministries,
Yeah.
which are key to development.
Yeah.
So then the only way you can start get something out of it is to bring a bill like this.
Right.
So by bringing the bill, what they are trying to do is effectively the powers which all the ministers of other ministries enjoy, they are trying to bring it into one place, right? So
In short, they even on a little micro kind of level, they're trying to shortchange that transaction too, because they agreed to give them power.
Yeah.
And now they think, oh well, they have got too much power, so I'm going to rein them in.
yes, so then what happens is now they're not only the ministers, they're taking the powers of the provincial councils.
Right.
Right. So when they take all these powers, who is willing to give their power?
So
over to someone else?
yes? So what will the role of the president become then?
No,
We're going to have this super minister.
Yes, so this minister is going to be all powerful, like in the
It's going to
previous.
be the unelected president.
Oh yeah, de facto. Now, if you see during the previous regime, there was Mr. Basil Rajapaksa.
Yeah.
Now he was de facto doing the same thing without any legal teeth.
Right.
Now, by bringing this bill, they are trying to legalize it, and they are further trying to say that no criminal laws are applicable, because assuming that everything has been done in good faith.
Right.
Now you see the last few.
If this happened with the central bank bond thing,
Yeah.
they'll say this happened in good faith.
Good faith. So
Wonderful.
so
13 billion, almost 13 billion profit later.
So no one can file even action under the criminal law against anyone, against this super minister.
So it's courteous to the people.
So it's an extremely dangerous piece of legislation.
Will you oppose it tooth and nail?
Definitely.
Right.
And
Well,
we have seen. If the super minister is going to be the prime minister, we have seen him in action.
No, we can't allow this to happen. The Prime Minister will have to go and seek the franchise of the people and get it if he wants to be President Wickremesinghe.
Definitely.
He can't be doing it through the back door through the super ministry. That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. So that's why most of the ministers, everyone, even the provincial councils, have opposed it. So, and the bill has been forwarded to Parliament and put forward by the Prime Minister.
Right.
So if it has been defeated in other countries, they take a different course of action.
Maithri Gunarathn, that's the end of this morning's performance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in, and do remember, we'll be on your
Okay,
case.
definitely.
We want you to talk to the President and point it all out to him. In the meantime, Newsline are having a very special guest. They're all special, but we have a slight twist tomorrow morning. His Excellency, the German Ambassador to the Republic of Sri Lanka, will be here. And he might even turn up here. He's got a very special vehicle, and it isn't Volkswagen No, is it Mercedes-Benz? So, do watch Newsline tomorrow. It may be. We don't know.
Audi.
You want to find out? You need to tune in tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock to Newsline. Have a great day ahead. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.